actually look like?
All I can tell you, that was pretty visible. She was my first cousin.
That was the night that I discovered guilt and lust are very closely related. I have to go wash up.
You have a good time.
I don't do that.
I'm sorry, I forgot it was this Tuesday. I'll change my doctor appointment. You don't have to change anything. The girls will be with me.
Have I ever missed a year? Going to the grave? Dave was my favorite in the whole family, you know that.
You realize it'll be 6 years? Sometimes I forget his birthday, but the day he died, I never forget.
There wasn't another one like him.
Lori asks me questions about him all the time. Was he funny? What was the funniest thing he ever said, she asked me. I couldn't remember. Isn't that awful, Kate?
Sometimes you talk like your life is over. You're still a young woman. You're still beautiful, if you never stop squinting so much.
I went with him for 2 years before we were married. What was I waiting for? That's 2 married years I didn't have with him.
Look, Jack's company is having their annual affair in New York next Wednesday at the Commodore Hotel. Oh, you should see how some of these women get dressed up. Jack wants you to come with us. He told me to ask you.
Me? Who do I know in Jack's company?
Well, you'd be with us. You'd meet people. Max Green will be at our table. He's the one whose wife died last year from tuberculosis. He's their #1 salesman. He lives in a hotel on the Grand Concourse. He's a riot. You like him? Maybe you'll dance with him. What else are you going to do? Sit around here every night?
I don't have a dress to wear for a thing like that.
We'll make something. Jack will get you some material. He knows everybody in the Rock District.
Thank you, Kate. I appreciate it, but I can't go. Maybe next year.
By next year, you won't have any eyes altogether. What are you afraid of, Blanche? Dave is dead. You're not. If God wanted both of you, you'd be laying in the grave next to him.
I've made plans for next Wednesday night.
More important than this, they have this affair once a year.
I'm having dinner with someone.
You having dinner with a man? That's wonderful. Why didn't you tell me?
With Mr. Murphy.
Who's Mr. Murphy? Oh my God. I don't understand you. You're having dinner with that man? Do you know where he'll take you? To a saloon? To a bar and grill? That's where he'll take you.
We're going to Shaw's Hungarian restaurant. You never even met the man. Why do you dislike him so much?
I don't need to meet that kind. I just need to smell his breath when he opens up the window. What do you think a man like that is looking for? I grew up with that kind on Avenue A. How many times did Stanley and Eugene come home from school black and blue with the beatings they took from those Irish hooligans? What do you want with a man like that?
Is that why you don't like him? Because he's Irish? When did the Jews and the Irish ever fought a war? You know who George Bernard Shaw is?
I don't care who he is.
One of the greatest Irish writers in the world? What would you say if he took me to Shaw's next Wednesday?
Oh, is Mr. Murphy a writer? Have him bring me some of his books. I would love to read them.
Kate, what are you going to give up on an older sister?
I've heard stories about him with women. They like their women, you know. If that's what you want, it's your business.
I decided to go downstairs and quiet my passion with oatmeal cookies.
We took a walk along the beach last Thursday. He hardly said a word. He's very shy, very quiet. He told me where his parents come from in Ireland, and their life wasn't any easier than Mama and Papa's in Russia.
Nobody had it like they had it in Russia.
He holds down a decent job in a printer's office, and he didn't smell of liquor, and he behaved like a perfect gentleman.
No cookie for you. Not till you eat that liver.
You mean you're still saving it? It's going to be in the icebox until I grow up?
No cookie, you hear me?
I'm just getting a glass of water.
You have water in your bathroom.
There's toothpaste in the glass. It makes me nauseous.
Well, there's no point discussing this. I'm going to bed. You do what you want.
Hey, I don't want to do anything that's going to make you unhappy. Poor Jack. I owe too much to you. I can't live off you the rest of my life. Every decent job I've tried to get, they turn me down because of my eyes. Frank Murphy hasn't even occurred to me. Maybe not even to him, but I don't think one dinner at Shawdoff's is the end of the world.
I just don't want to see you get hurt. I never mean you harm. Oh, I can take anything except when somebody in the family's mad.
I'd never be mad at you, Kate. Yet I promise you, to my dying day.
All right, have dinner with Mr. Frank Murphy. If Papa heard me say that, he would get up out of the grave and stand in front of the house with a big stick.
I told him to pick me up here. Is that all right?
Here, in my house?
For 2 minutes. I wanted you to meet him, at least see what he's like.
Tell his mother to wash her windows, then I know what he's like.
Can I see Mr. Beckman tomorrow, yes or no?
Did you talk to Uncle
I
Jack?
talked to Uncle Jack. I want an answer from you now, Mother, yes or no?
What did he say?
It doesn't matter what he says. Your decision or mine. Who's going to make it, Mother?
I said, if I were her father, I'd tell her to finish high school. If she's got talent, there'll be plenty of other shows. I never made it past the 8th grade. That's why I spent half my life on the subway, and the other half trying to make a few extra dollars to help keep this family from being out on the street.
I don't want this just for myself, Mama, but for you and for Lori. In a few years, we can have a house of our own instead of being cooped up in here like animals. We could pay Uncle Jack for his given us all these years. I just want a way out. Don't shut me in. Don't shut me in for the rest of my life.
You promised you'd do what Uncle Jack said?
He doesn't make decisions. He offers advice. I want a decision now from you, Mama. Please.
You finish high school. You tell Mr. Beckman you're too young. You tell him your mother said no. That's my decision.
I see. Thank you, Uncle Jack, for your advice. I'll let you know in the morning what my decision is. Blanche, let her go. It'll make it worse.
It seems no matter what I do, I only make it worse.
Did I tell her? Did I say?
You inherit a family, you inherit their problems.
Well, good night.
Put the cookie on the table.
What cookie?
The oatmeal cookie in your pocket. Put it on the table.
You can smell an oatmeal cookie from 10 feet away?
I heard the jar moving in the kitchen. Suddenly, everybody in this house is doing whatever they want. Your father's upset, and Blanche is upset. Put the cookie on the table.
Everybody else, what happened?
I don't know, but it's my fault.
So what are you gonna do? Do you want me to speak to Mom? I can tell her I was getting flutters in my heart again.
Don't you ever say that. Don't you pretend to be sick to get papers from anyone.
I'm not pretending. I just want big flutters.
Stop pumping up pillows. The husband could be running down and you run back in and pump the pillows.
Let's go to bed. Be tight.
It doesn't get any easier, Kate. It's not life get easier.
At night, when you get 7 good hours of sleep, that's the easiest it ever gets.
Close the door!
I'm sorry. I didn't know anyone was in there.
Can I talk to your pop for 5 minutes?
He's tired, Stanley. He's practically asleep.
2 minutes. I'll tell as fast as I can.
Go on, Kate. Go to bed. The boy wants to tell me something.
Turn on the lights when you're through. Don't worry about things. We always make them work out.
She saw me on the crapper. Boris saw me on the crapper. I might as well be dead.
I have a problem, Pop.
If you didn't, you wouldn't live in this house.
It must be tough being a father. Everyone comes to you with all their problems. You have to have all the answers. I don't know if I can handle it.
Stop trying to wake me up. Just tell me the problem.
I got fired today.
What?
Don't get excited. Don't get crazy. Explain what happened.
What did you do? You came in late? You were fresh to somebody? Were you fresh to somebody?
I'm not fired yet. I can still get my job back. I just need you to help me make a decision.
Take the job back, I don't care what it is. It's not the time for anybody to be out working this family.
But when I was 12, you gave me to talk about principles, remember?
Oh, now you waited to tell me this news.
This is about principles, Pop.
Well, what are you gonna do without telling me?
Will you at least hear my principles?
I'll hear your principles, and you'll hear mine.
Okay. Just sit back and let me explain what happened, okay? It was on account of Andrew, the colored guy who speaks up.
So Stan began his sad story. Pop didn't say a word, he just sat there and listened. Stanley was terrific. It was like that movie, Abe Lincoln in Illinois. Stanley was not only defending his principles, he was defending democracy in the United States of America. Pop must have been bleary-eyed because not only did he have to deal with Stanley's principles, Laura's career, the loss of his noisemaker business, getting Aunt Blanche married off and Lori's butter and hot, but at any minute, 37 relatives in Poland could show up looking for a place to stay. Finally, Stanley finished his story.
So either I bring in a letter of apology in the morning, or don't bother coming in at all. I know it's late, I know you're tired, but I didn't want to do anything without asking you first.
Oh, Stanley.
I'm sorry, Pop.
You shouldn't have swept the dirt on his shoes,
I know.
especially in front of other people.
I know.
Your boss pays your salary. His money helps put food on our dining table.
I know.
We don't have money to waste. Believe me when I tell you that.
I believe you, Pop.
You were sick 3 days last year, and he only taught you a day's and a half pay. Remember that?
I know. I can see where you're getting at. I'll write the letter tonight.
On the other hand, you did a courageous thing. You defended a fellow worker. Nobody else stood up for him, did they?
I was the only one.
That's something to be proud of. It's what you believed in. That's standing up for your principles.
That's why I don't want to write the letter. I knew you would understand.
The question is, in this family of 4 principles right now,
It would make it hard, I know.
not just on you and me, but on your mother, Nora, Lori,
Eugene.
Eugene would have to get a part-time job. Not he should be using studying books to get himself somewhere.
He wants to be a writer. He wants to go to college.
Wish I could have sent you. I've always been sick about that thing.
I like working, Pop. I really do. Listen, I made up my mind. I'm going to write the letter.
I'm not saying you should.
I know it's my decision, but I want to write the letter.
And how will your principals feel in the morning?
My principals feel better already. You told me you were proud of what I did. That's all I cared about.
You know something, Stanley? I don't think there's much in college that they can teach you that you don't already know.
That's who I learned it from. Thanks for talking to me, Pop. I'll see you in the morning. Coming to bed?
I think I'll sit here a while. It's the only time of day I have a few minutes to myself.